Fuss-up.
Welcome to the Kill Cam, where we tally up the victims in all our favourite fuss-up media. I'm Mr. Fuss-up, and today we'll be looking at Retail Workers, released in 2022. Retail Workers is a horror action comedy set during Christmas, directed by and animated by Mr. Fuss-up. The film follows two workers in retail who end up in hell. They need to escape, but escaping is much easier said than done. The film received mixed reviews when it first came out, but has since gained a cult-like following. The film takes inspiration from many horror films and franchises such as Evil Dead,
Groovy.
Child's Play,
You stupid bitch, you filthy slut!
and Halloween.
Fate differ from that of Costain.
So far, this stands as the only horror film made by Fuss-up, at least so far, but it was confirmed during the 2023 Fuss-up Day announcements that Retail Workers will be getting a second instalment. So how many grisly ghouls racked up kills on a couple minimum wage workers? Let's find out and get to the kills. The movie begins with a verse taken from the Bible as Jingle Bells plays. The verse gives us an ominous warning about the money, hinting at the boss's greed. We then see the exterior of the store known as S&E's, and inside we see the minimum wage worker trying to get that done. Nothing bad could ever happen, oh my. A grisly ghoul comes out of the portal and attacks the worker for a little bit. The worker puts a good fight, but in the end the grisly ghoul kills the worker by twisting his spine and head off, oh my god. This demon's been summoned by the owner of the store, Harris, who holds the sussy book. Harris is played and based off of the talented Jack W. Harris, who has appeared multiple times through the Fuss-up history, and is most well known for his roles as Cactus Jack,
Francis!
and Angry Man.
Oh.
After all of this is revealed, it fades to a title card! The title card was inspired by Pulp Fiction. We now see our main character, Zach. Everything's fine and dandy until unfortunately his car breaks down. After he tells the car who's boss, we cut to the second of our main characters. We see Amadeus applying for a very high paying job. He quickly finds out how boring this job is, as we see Zach strut his stuff into the store. He asks
Amadeus.
Amadeus if he can help him fix his car. His wingman Harris butts in and asks if he can do a few tasks for him. We smash cut into a working montage. This montage consists of exciting activities like cleaning a public bathroom. And as we know, all hard workers deserve a break. But this break doesn't consist of downing cans of punch and being intimate with a pinball machine. The two lads wait for their boss to let them leave.
When's the boss coming?
I don't know. They get a lovely little visit from our first demon of the movie. With the arrival for the first demon of the movie is the arrival from the song Don't Fear the Reaper by Blue Oyster Cult. This song is infamous throughout the horror genre. It's in such notable films as Halloween and X. The lads get into a bit of a tussle with the demon. The demon chucks Zack through very, very thick walls, might I add. He gets up and walks it off, with only minor injuries. He walks it off and gets the demon's attention by saying oi. And then they get into a little fight. The fight gets a bit too intense with some choking, but whatever's up his alley. In the end, the demon hypnotizes Zack and takes him away. Amadeus pleads for his boss to let him go, as he's had a bit of a stressful day. But the boss isn't having it and blasts Amadeus with his shotgun. We don't see much of the shooting, but we do see Harris dump Amadeus' body in a river. Amadeus is now our second victim on our count. He has one of the coolest deaths in my opinion. We then cut to heaven where Amadeus is in a bit of a bad shape. We get a cameo from Cinder Snipe, a regular voice actor to the channel. He plays Plonker in Beanie Man.
Naughty boy.
That'll be £2, mate.
And in Cactus Jack.
So now what do we do with them?
But in this film he plays a greeting angel. We smash cut to Zack reading a handy booklet telling the audience where he is. Then we get to one of the best sounding lines in all of Fuss-up.
He's ready.
But don't worry, the lines get worse. We zoom out on Guy's crotch. Oh, hi Jazz. Jazz from the beginning has always had the same design throughout all the variations of the Retail Workers script. There were many versions of Retail Workers. Originally it was to be a mini-series following Zack and Amadeus who get sent to hell but meet different demons. One of these demons was Sparky. His character design eventually got used as the punching bag the wolf uses in part 4 of Cactus Jack. Back to the film. Zack gets woken up from his trance with a snap. After having a little freak out, my boy Jazz confronts him and says he's not dead.
Am I dead?
Well, technically you're not. Your heart's still pumping.
Zack then confronts Jazz by asking him,
Are you the devil?
Jazz says he ain't the man downstairs, that's his daddy. One Guess Who game later, we're introduced to the big red guy himself, Satan. I guess not, his name's Richard. Okay then. Richard and Jazz are voiced by the magnificent Shadow, who is the co-founder of Fuss Up and second in charge. You might know him from his many roles such as Beanie Man.
Well, it's been 256 days since we went after Pablo and got framed.
Tree Goblin. Who thought that?
Howdy, gentlemen.
And the Wolf. I'm out.
Did you miss me?
Richard doesn't take too kindly to people asking for money, so he completely smokes that fall. This now adds our first demon to the kill count. Zack tries to scream, but Jazz isn't having any of this tomfoolery and shuts that boy up. A fun fact is that Zack was originally going to speak for the whole movie, but due to scheduling conflicts, Jack Harris was not able to complete his lines for the film. We cut back to Amadeus getting a tour through some lovely landmarks, but Amadeus doesn't see Adam and Eve getting it on. He insists on going to hell, but the angel doesn't want it to hear this unholy language. Instead of having his hands over his ears, the angel has a seizure. Oh, but that's not all. The angel's eyes inflate and burst open. This adds the first angel now to the count. The angel's mate comes to check how the angel's doing and sees, yeah, he banishes Amadeus to hell. Most people will be petrified to go to hell, but not Amadeus, he's ecstatic. This scene is scored by a slowed down version of Trust in the Lord. We cut back to my homie Richard. He apologises to Zack, but he assures Zack that he's only doing this as Jazz needs a vessel. But they can only do it at
Wait till 3 AM.
Yeah, 3 AM. Zack is pissed and has a little temper tantrum, which results in him giving the middle finger. Zack, how could you? Jazz doesn't take kindly to oh my god. Richard isn't having it and tells Jazz off. But Jazz shrugs it off. Meanwhile, on Earth, Harris, yeah, I bet you forgot about him too. Well anyways, he's getting a fresh coat of paint and turning more human-like. Oh, and we get a little blob cameo on his cufflink. That's very cute. Speaking of Beanie Man references, we get another one as Amadeus gets sent to hell. As in the background, there's a picture of the child. Coincidentally, the demon in this scene is voiced by my good friend of the channel, Schwanny. He was also known for voicing the child in Beanie Man.
No.
And the Doshi captain in Beanie Man Season 2.
This is possibly Pablo himself. We found evidence showing this Beanie Man we previously thought was fighting against Pablo.
Anyway, the demon explains to Amadeus how he's a fallen angel and that gets a cool little upside down cross. But Amadeus doesn't care about none of that, he just wants to know where his boy Zack is. We do see a head pop out of the lava in this scene, but I'm not going to count it as you can faintly hear a "help me." So he's not fully dead. But Amadeus takes a deep breath and continues to go find Zack. We cut to some Jazz and Zack bonding time. Their little slumber party consists of making name tags for each other and watching horror movies. Zack appreciates this little gift from Jazz, and Jazz asks him what his favourite Tarantino movie is.
Have you seen Death Proof?
No. Personally, Jazz, I'm more of a Hateful Eight kind of guy. Jazz continues to list off a bunch of horror movies, but Zack hasn't seen any of them. But Zack, being basic, has only seen Halloween. The original one.
Halloween?
Come on, Zack, you're missing out on a classic like Halloween Resurrection.
Trick or treat, motherfucker.
We now cut back to Amadeus walking down the street until he spots some freaky stuff going on. He sees some dude getting his guts eaten out by a demon. That's another body to the count. The demon turns his head around to look at Amadeus. This scene is a reference to the iconic scene in Resident Evil. The demon doesn't like when people interrupt his eating time, and decides to take a bite out of Amadeus. Why can't I die? Well, technically Amadeus, you did die, so that's incorrect. We quickly cut to Jazz and Zack having a movie night, but then we quickly cut back to Amadeus patching himself up. He puts into action Operation Save Zack. God damn, we cut again back to the two lovebirds, where Richard exclaims it's 3 AM. And it's time to start the ritual. They strap Zack down to the table. They only have 30 more minutes until they can start. We cut to two hillbilly demons who are singing Moving Right Along from the Muppets movie.
Moving right along in search of good times and good news.
Their sing-song is cut short by Amadeus as he steals their shotgun. Amadeus rides his bike off and approaches Richard's house. Amadeus storms into the house and is not taking no for an answer. He shoots off the secretary's face, adding another kill to our count. He sneaks into the room where the ritual is taking place. Amadeus demands Jazz to hand Zack over, but Jazz just hisses at him.
Before I blow your brains out!
Lucky enough, Jazz stalls for time and hypnotizes Amadeus.
Are you ready?
After Zack trips balls, Amadeus blows Jazz's head off. This finally adds Jazz to our kill count. Amadeus threatens Richard and Richard sends him back to the mortal realm. We cut to the boys returning to the shop, but at an unfortunate moment, Harris walks off the bog after emptying his bowels. Harris finally gains all the power he needs and starts to levitate. Fun fact, this scene was storyboarded by Shadow. He posted a behind the scenes video on the fight on his channel, check it out. Harris absolutely mops the floor with Zack and Amadeus. Zack reached for a shotgun and blows Harris's leg off. For that, Harris punishes Zack and zaps his face with lightning. Harris starts to strangle Amadeus but notices he's a fallen angel too. He explains how he used to work here and the boss sacrificed him to Richard.
Or sacrifice to become more powerful thing. Well, I died.
This now adds original Harris to our count. After being sent to heaven, Harris decides he doesn't want to be here and chokes an angel. This adds another angel to our count. Harris gets sent to hell and approaches Richard, and they make a deal to kill the old boss. Richard resurrects Harris and Harris goes to the shop and stomps the old boss. This adds Harris's boss to our count. We now cut back to the fight with Zack wielding a shotgun. Harris's face melts off as a reference to Indiana Jones. This finally adds another villain to the count. We quickly cut back to Zack, but oh wait, it's revealed Jazz's little spell worked and their souls are now fused. Jazz in Zack's body grabs a piece of glass and gives himself a Joker treatment. The movie ends with Zack in an asylum. This scene is the highlight of quality with lip syncing and voice acting.
Have you been switching recently?
Blah 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 blah. Big talking scene. Later we get to the credits. If you stick around the credits, you see Amadeus blow the head off a demon. So how many kills did these retail workers rack up? Let's find out and get to the numbers. I counted 12 kills in this Fuss-Up mini-movie. These victims included 5 men, 4 demons, 2 angels and 1 zombie. With a runtime of 11 minutes 30 seconds, that leaves us in kill on average about every 57.5 seconds. I'll give the golden chainsaw for the coolest kill goes to Amadeus, who's the most shocking, impactful death with the grossest visuals. Dull machete for lamest kill goes to a random angel getting choked. He doesn't even have a cool death scene. Well, that's it. Retail Workers came out in 2022. With the success of the film, a sequel was quickly greenlit to continue the story. Next year in December, Retail Workers 2 will be released. Anyway, it's been me, Mr. Fuss-Up, and that's the kill count. Be good people.